Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 2. So this is just kind of an introductory video for week 2 to contextualize and give you meaning for why we're doing what we're doing this week. So if you think back on the readings we did last week in week 1, which delved into the various meanings of information literacy and what you know about information literacy and the ability to effectively use information, it's probably no surprise to you that reading comprehension skills are necessary for interacting with and using information effectively. In the article titled Next Step Reading Information Literacy, educator Trevor Bond links reading comprehension abilities to information literacy. And we're looking at the article here where he explains an information literacy-based approach to learning will target equipping learners to be able to read to learn, to read for information, to read to build knowledge and understanding. A person who is information literate is one who has the skills to identify a problem or need and its component issues, recognize prior and existing knowledge, identify information needs, clarify relevant language and vocabulary, ask relevant questions, choose appropriate information sources, comprehend a range of materials and genres, extract the required information, validate information and source credibility, make links between concepts, ideas, information, and existing knowledge, build new understanding, and apply knowledge to create solutions. He means like solutions to real world problems, right? So reading comprehension takes on many different forms. Considering the type of reading we're doing here, think of how you read a Facebook post or an email message versus how you would read a book or a scholarly article assigned for one of your classes. Or think about how you would read a map versus an instructional manual for, let's say, putting together a piece of furniture from IKEA. And we all possess varying abilities and interests in reading different types of information. What I mean is, some of us find it easier to read an instruction manual than a poem. Or maybe you're someone who finds it easier or more interesting to read statistics or news articles rather than a novel. Or maybe you're just someone who doesn't like reading at all, like my sister. But we have to do it to be able to function and learn things for different things we want to achieve. So doing research allows us the opportunity to improve our reading and comprehension skills as we look at different types of information. For example, if you're researching the topic of gender inequality and pay, you might want to look at a variety of information sources such as news articles, statistics, interviews with women who experience this inequality in their own lives, scholarly articles written by economists. I'm just naming a few possibilities here, and there are many other types of information that could be useful in doing this kind of research on this topic. Looking at lots of different information sources and making sense of them enough so that you can make an informed decision or opinion about something requires a high level of reading comprehension, which is difficult even for people who consider themselves readers like I do and who like reading. It's even more difficult for people, of course, who do not like to read or who may have issues with reading, or who were never really taught useful reading strategies. There is a big push or trend in education to teach reading across the disciplines. What that means is teaching reading skills in a variety of ways that help students understand information as it varies from one subject matter or discipline to the next. For example, there are specific ways to read a scientific study that would differ from how you would read a math story problem. And I'm sure you've noticed this when taking different classes in school. So for our class, we will be exploring different reading strategies involved with doing research and interacting with different kinds of information. I see reading as one of those lifelong learning skills that we can always improve upon, regardless of how long we've been readers, what degrees we may have, or how smart we think we are. I also think of reading not just in terms of reading words on a page, but in broader terms of making meaning out of information we come across. By that rationale, we not only read information as text on a page, but we read or make meaning out of other kinds of information, such as the news we hear or watch, or the video tutorials we watch to learn how to do something. Since reading and making meaning of information are such important skills to develop as we become better researchers or more information literate, we will be spending a good deal of time in our class on developing those skills. As part of developing these skills, self-reflection on how we perceive ourselves as readers and how we see ourselves interacting with information is very important. This helps us get to know ourselves more as learners. And the more we get to know ourselves as learners, this helps us to become more critical and analytical thinkers in other ways. And of course, critical and analytical thinking is key to doing good research as you consider lots of different information, expand your mind, and draw thoughtful conclusions on the topics that are meaningful to you in your life. So this week, you'll be asked to think of your reading identity and share about it. You will also be looking at broader pictures of research processes, which will give you a more solid foundation to begin the background research you'll do next week on your topic of choice or the topic that you'll choose to research this term. So as you do the exercises for this week, think about yourself as a reader, a researcher, and a learner. As we did last week, continue to think about a topic that may be interesting enough for you to research for the rest of the term. This can be a topic that helps you complete a research assignment for another class, or maybe it's a topic that's meaningful to you in your professional or personal life. That's the end of my brief video lecture. Thanks for listening and viewing, and I'm very happy as always to answer any questions you may have about any of the readings, activities, or assignments you're doing this week. Just send me an email, or better yet, post your question to the course questions discussion board forum so that others can benefit from the answer. Thank you.